Yes, I'll have a knuckle sandwich. Yes, I'll have a knuckle sandwich.
Hey, welcome, everybody. It's Friday. Yes, it is the Friday edition to Knuckle Sandwich MMA. And I threw Nando a curveball yesterday. I got really busy, lost track of time. He was ready, he was waiting, he had all the stats down, and he's ready to rock and roll. Now, if you'll notice, he's got a fresh haircut today. Okay. Welcome, Nando. How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's just hot. I can't take this heat in this desert.
That's a short haircut now. Now let me ask you this: do you go to a barber or do you do that at home?
I do it myself.
Oh, you do it yourself.
I do it myself. My son wanted me to shave everything but the mustache, but
Wow.
I was like, no. He's like, here, I got the clippers. I'll do it. No, thank you.
All right. Well, I look like a freaking fuzz bucket up here today. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening, but we're gonna get past that. Now, we missed last week. I was feeling a little under the weather, so we missed last week. And once again, Nando was ready. He's ready to rock and roll. And I'm so glad to have him part of the team. We're actually working on a new, like a little icon for Knuckle Sandwich MMA. So we're going to post his beautiful mug and my ugly mug, and we're going to kind of make a little branding logo for it. And I'm still working on that, so that's coming up, but it'll be fun. Anyway, enough with the chit chat. Let's get to. I want to talk about UFC 277 because we did miss that. We did miss the follow up on that. And what a card that was. So I'm going to let Nando take off with this one, and then we're going to discuss the main card, and then we'll move over to Fight Night that's coming up tomorrow, which is going to be another great card. So Nando, take it away, my friend.
Okay, well, last week was a great fight card. If you like UFC, there was great events. It started with Anthony Smith and Uncle Ioff. Is that how you say it? It sounds like you're saying Uncle something, but it was a good fight. The curse for people getting injured happened again. I mean, this is not like I was worried it was going to happen in the main event, but it happened, and Anthony Smith looked good. He looked a little slow to me. He looked a little slow, and Uncle Ioff just was going forward, and I think he messed up his leg checking something. They say it was when he came back, but it looked like when he checked one of the shots.
Yeah, I think he injured his ankle. Now I know I was watching Dana White doing an interview, and he wasn't very happy. His initial response was that he didn't break his leg, didn't know what happened. Basically, he kind of hinted that maybe Smith gave up a little bit or something like that. But he reiterated yesterday on another interview that he said, "Hey, I want to update everybody because I was wrong."
Mm-hmm.
He did break his ankle, and there was a fracture on there, so he did break it. I want everybody to know from me because I made some comments, but that's the fact. He did break his leg. So there you go.
Yeah. So I think that Uncle Ioff is probably maybe one fight away from a title. I mean, everybody in that weight class is getting very interesting, and there's a lot of chances for people to get a title fight now that Jones is out, DC's out. Now there's a lot of fresh fights, a lot of fresh matchups, and it's looking interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. What do we have next, sir?
Okay, we have Pantoja and Perez, and Pantoja was one of the people I was looking forward to the most because he fought both of the people that were fighting for the vacant title, and he beat both of them. And he had a comment like, I think it's great to see my nephews fight.
Yeah, he said my kids.
My kids fight. And then I went back and I looked. He fought both of them on the Ultimate Fighter. It was champions from all different organizations.
That's right.
He beat Moreno, he choked him out, and then I think Carl France he beat in decision. I don't remember exactly who won that season because I don't think it was Pantoja. Yeah.
I can't remember who won that either. I was it who did Pantoja lose to? He was beating everybody. But
Yeah, but I thought the winner of that fought Mighty Mouse, and I think the winner was Tim Elliott.
Oh yeah, yeah, very good, very good.
I think Tim
Yeah,
Elliott.
good memory, good memory. Now on Pantoja, that dude is a beast, man. He looked good. He was cut. He looked like he was in shape. And as soon as I saw him enter the octagon, I'm thinking, Perez is in trouble, man. And I like Perez. He's an exciting fighter, but I think he's kind of weak on the ground game. He's better on the stand up. But Pantoja, and he proved it. But Pantoja, you know, he could be the next champion. I mean,
Well, he said going into this, I have to finish this and make this very one-sided because I beat the two guys that are already fighting for the title, and if I do very well, I'll be in title contention.
Yeah, and I agree. His thing is, I think his only weakness, his weakness is not his fighting. His weakness is his presence. He needs to garner eyeballs to him. You know,
Yeah.
he's got to make himself known. He can't be the unknown guy that's really good. Oh, you know that one guy? He's good. Well, what's his name? I don't know, but he's good. You know, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, you know, at some point he's got to start making, and I think that's why he did that when he said, you know, I spanked my two kids, or I beat my two kids, or whatever. You know, that was a good comment. That was a great comment, and that'll hang with him, I think.
He needs a voice. He has a great name, the Cannibal. He just needs a little more presence.
He does,
and I think you're right. And then he'll be a big sell.
Yeah, and you know, he came out with attitude. He had the sunglasses at the press conference. You know, he was looking slick, very confident, you know, cocky. But that's what he's got to do, you know, because people don't know him. But they will. I promise you that. They will know who he is. Who do we got next, sir?
We have Derek Lewis and Plavovich.
Okay, so can I make a quick comment, and then I'll let you take this? Derek Lewis should not be fighting in Texas.
No.
Because he loses every freaking time in Texas. And I know that's why they put him in Texas. He's from there, of course. And so he's going to get a lot of ticket sales because they want to see him. But he loses. Go ahead, take it away.
Yeah, it's not a good idea to put him in Texas. I mean, they said, oh, it's because he was in Houston. He's actually really good in Dallas. And I was like, I don't think so. I think they should just put him somewhere else. And they wanted Plavovich to win. I mean, Derek Lewis is he's kind of becoming a gatekeeper right now. And he looked like he gave up. He looked like he didn't want to be there.
Yep.
It was only like, I think, a 2-3 minute fight. And he just started covering up. And usually he goes into the fire. Once he starts getting hit, he goes into the fire and he just starts throwing them. And that's what people want to see. That's his biggest wins, is when he's in the fire and he just goes. But he didn't want to do it this time.
No, he's kind of been turtling up, you know. Mm-hmm. And when the ref is saying fight back, that's your out right there. That's your out of the fight. If the ref says fight back and you're just doing this, he's going to stop the fight because the ref knows he doesn't want to be here. Just like you said, he wants out. But I'll tell you one thing. What's his name? Sergey. Dude, that dude hits hard, man. I don't know if I'd blame Derek Lewis because his punches, if you watched him throw his punches, he sat down on them and there was just a lot of, they weren't like spectacular punches, but I think even in if he's hitting your arms or whatever, he's hitting you freaking hard. And have you ever had a Charlie horse on your thigh or on your arm?
Yeah,
those don't feel good, man. But I was just watching, like I zoned in on him because I'm not super familiar with him, but I was like, okay, what's he doing here? And he just sat down on every single punch. and he was just, it's hard to say throwing bombs because he wasn't super accurate, but there was so much power behind him. I think that shook Lewis.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that he's going to be in the top 10 now. What did I say he's ranked? He's ranked 11. So I say he goes into the top 10, maybe 8, maybe 9, seeing how these fights in this week and next week. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's at 8 and he fights somebody kind of in that lower 5 to 10.
Yeah, I agree with you there. 100%. Good call. Okay, let's move to the next one. Who do we got?
We have an interim title. It was Moreno versus Cara France. Moreno went in there and he had his bandana around his head and he was ready. He had all of Mexico behind him, man. He went in there. He did really well in the first round. And I noticed that he's not a really tall or lanky guy, but what he does do is he comes in, he steps forward, and he actually adds distance, and then he moves back. So it's hard for the person to hit him because he's moving forward. Then he moves back in the other stance, and he's not where he should be, which is very great. Cara France started getting him in that second round. And I was like, oh no, this might turn. And then I saw Israel Asana with his necklace and Alexander Volkanovski. They were getting happy. And one thing that will stop happiness is a liver punch. That's exactly what happened. He hit him right, and it was like he couldn't continue.
Yeah, and a liver kick or a liver punch. That shuts your whole body down. The strongest guy can't withstand that because it has nothing to do with muscle. It has to do with shearing pain within your inner organs, Here's one thing that I thought was interesting, and tell me what you think, Nando, because his style, like Cara France didn't do anything wrong. He was crisp, he was clean. He missed a lot of kicks in the first round because Moreno was pulling that leg back, but he was like doing what you said. But here's what was interesting about about Moreno's profile is he stuck his head in like this and he had that long jab, and it's deceiving because he made himself as low as, even though he's taller than Cara France, he made himself lower, but all of a sudden this thing came out, this jab came out, like he had a 5-inch reach advantage, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And that style I thought was just spectacular. But in the second round, as you mentioned, as Cara France was making a comeback, and he was looking really good, man. I have nothing bad to say about him. He was landing those leg kicks more often, and that was slowing Moreno down. And he had a good poker face, but he was slowing down a little bit because those things hurt like nobody's business. And and I think then Moreno says, you know what? I just got to turn this up, and I got to get this guy. I got to get him out of here because I'm the champ. I am the champ. And he did it, and he came out guns a-blazing and starts landing those jabs, those long jabs. It's just like, boom, he was just tagging him. And Cara France put up a great fight. You could tell he started to wilt a little bit, and then he left that side open right here, and Moreno put that kick on him, man. And it took about, if you watch it again, it took him about a second before the pain went from there to his brain, and then he dropped. Oh, and what a spectacular finish! A great fight for both guys, and I was super stoked about that fight.
Yes.
All right, what do we got next? Last one.
So the main event was Juliana Pena and Amanda Nunes. And Amanda Nunes, I'll be honest, I would have lost. I would have came in here eating crow this week because I thought Juliana Pena was in her head. I mean, Amanda Nunes looked like She changed camps. I just wasn't believing it. But when she got in there, she was slim. She was like totally just shredded. She got in there and she had a great game plan. She kept her hands moving. And what I didn't like is Juliana's game plan was not, I think it was the game plan they were working all through the camp, and I did not like it. It was more of like she would do the shovel step and then she would just come forward, boom, boom, boom. And that was how she was going to win it. And I think it took Amanda maybe 2 minutes to kind of figure it out. And as soon as she would come in, boom, to the side, bang, then move to the other side, bang, and keep her coming, but just move like keep almost like the movement of a Holly Holm in that first Ronda Rousey fight, like boom, to the side, to the side, to the side. And she just couldn't, Julianna Pena couldn't get it going. And she lasted all 5 rounds, but Amanda was like, I wanted her to last all 5 rounds. I want to beat her in every way. And it was kind of like a final dig at her. Like, yeah, she's tougher than a $2 bill or whatever, a $2 steak, she said, but I let her be in this fight. And you don't want that to, when someone says, hey, he's tougher than a $2 steak, you know that person probably lost. Because you don't say that about a person that wins.
Well, I think she put on a clinic. There's no doubt about it. Game plan was flawless. She did take some damage though. So a lot of those shots of Julianna Pena were connecting. However, it was probably a third or less of the total amount that Nunes threw. But taking her down, showing her the ground game, showing her all these different things, and showing her cardio, whatever her deal was of going 5 rounds, I don't know that she could have got her out of there. I think Julianna Pena was too tough for her own good because she took a hell of a beating. And I don't know that I don't know that that was a good idea because she's going to be different after that fight for sure. She took a heck of a beating. She can say, well, she didn't finish me. That's great, but you're not the champ anymore. And I think also that she didn't adjust her plan accordingly the way that Nunes did, like you said, after the first 2 minutes. She like figured it out and then adjusted accordingly. And she had 5 rounds to figure it out, and she couldn't do it. And as I was listening even to the corners, talking to her, I don't want to say that they gave up by any means, but I'm just saying they didn't really give her any sound advice that to change this or change that. You know what I mean? It was like they felt stuck too, as you mentioned. I think Julianna Pena felt stuck. I don't know how to do this. I can't get around this. I'm trying to figure it out. And the coaches, I think, felt the same way because they weren't really giving her, okay, let's switch up the strategy. Let's do this. Throw more leg kicks, get out of there, and but it was tough to figure out because, as you mentioned, Nunes was doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, she went southpaw. She went southpaw for this fight.
Yeah. So how do you deal with that? That was really hard to deal with. But Nunes, the queen is back. The lioness is back, and she did look really good. I thought she was in fantastic shape. She didn't get gassed, nothing like that. So what a great fight! What a great card.
Do you think she sticks around for like 3 or 4 more fights, or you think she has one more and she just leaves?
I think they're going to try and pair her with Shevchenko again, but I think if she looked like she did on this fight, she'll beat Shevchenko again, and Shevchenko will have to stay in that weight class and not move up.
You think she's going to go down, or she's going to make Shevchenko go up?
If I were her, I'd make Shevchenko go up,
or go catch weight.
No, I'd make her go up. Because why? I've already beaten her twice, right? She's beaten her twice. She's got 2 hands raised against her. So I'd say.
Did she beat her twice though?
No, I don't think so. But the statistics say she did. And so with this win of being the double champ again, which is the first in UFC. You know,
I don't want to be rude. Okay, she's double champ. I don't believe the featherweight title's a real title. I believe she beat Cyborg. It should be the I beat Cyborg title, because I looked, and there's only in the last 10 cards, how many featherweight titles were there? Featherweight fights. It was one, and it was the girl that fought earlier, Jocelyn. She fought in the last one, I think, Jocelyn something. But yeah,
but
I don't think there's.
But one thing you gotta remember though, Nando, is perception. Okay, the perception is there when she walks out with those 2 belts. The perception is there, whether there's nobody to fight her for that belt or not. You know, and so, but she is calling it because she gets more eyeballs than Shevchenko. Especially now with this win over Pena. So she can say, come on up and we'll fight. And Shevchenko's going to go, I don't know. If I lose, I got to go back down again and cutting all that weight, because she's going to have a full camp, right? Of the heavier weight. And then she's got to cut it back down to go back to fight in her weight class. So I don't know if they do that or not. But who else is there left? They're not going to do a trilogy.
No, the next part, I think she's going to be out until probably April or May. I think she'll be in Brazil till Christmas probably, and she's not going to go. And I think the next person in line is Caitlin Vieira. That's probably
see, you're going to have to build that up for a long time to get people excited about that.
Caitlin Vieira is going to have to get another fight.
She's going to have to knock people out.
Well, who else is she going to fight? She's beat everybody in that weight class.
But see, that's the big question. Put yourself in Dana's shoes, Nando. Okay, if you don't have anybody that's a real challenger, you got to build a storyline. You got to build it up because you got to make money. You can't lose money on the promotion.
Yeah, but you don't want to ruin another champion.
Yeah.
You don't want to. And I think Shevchenko needs to fight that girl again and get a dominant, because at the end, Amanda was like, she lost her last fight. She's saying that, she would beat me. She lost the other fight.
Yeah, I thought Shevchenko lost that fight myself.
So I think she needs to win that fight. And I don't know. I don't really want to see the Shevchenko Amanda Nunes, because I'm a Shevchenko fan, and I just don't. I don't want her to do that. Maybe catchweight, but I don't think catchweight's going to sell anything.
No, not for a championship.
And I don't think Amanda Nunes is going to go down.
I don't think they can do. I don't think they can do that though. I don't think the rules specify that you can do a catchweight for a champion for a belt. I don't think you can do that. They got to be on weight.
No.
All right, let's move over.
Okay.
Because I can tell you got a problem with Shevchenko. So let's move on. Okay, so we've got fight night this week, and it's Saturday, August 6th, and that's going to be on ESPN Plus. And let's go over this one, the tough winners are going to be fighting on this card. So that's going to be pretty cool. But let's go over the main card. I want to start off with Ariana Lipsky and Priscilla Cocheria.
Okay.
Tell me what your thoughts on this part. I'll tell you what my thought is. I'm liking Ariana Lipsky on this one. She is tough, she's mean, and she's vicious. She does not let up. You can look at her picture and think, oh, she's one of those pretty gals that fight.
Yeah.
No, man. She is mean. And if she smells blood, if she sees blood, we're talking white shark attack type thing, man.
Yes.
I've seen her go for it, and I'm like, holy crap, who is this? But on the flip side, Priscilla is also very strong, agile. She's the one a couple of fights ago that was accused of gouging. She was trying to gouge an eye. of her opponent. I can't remember the opponent's name, and she caught a lot of flack for that because it was an intentional. She had her in a chokehold, and it was intentional. She just did one of these, man, like nasty. But it didn't affect the girl's eye, and she lost that fight, and then she came back and won the next fight. So both of these fighters are coming off a win. Tell me your thoughts on this fight.
I'll start with Cocheria. She lost to Molly Meatball. She lost to Valentina, but she's 3 of 5 in the last like 5 fights, and she's 33 years old. She is mean, like you said. I like Lipsky. Lipsky fought Shevchenko, not she fought Antonia, and she's got some mean jujitsu. Like I was watching the video of her do that calf slicer, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna ruin this girl's leg. Like she did not care. Usually when you get a calf slicer, you hold it, you lean back. She grabbed that calf slicer, and it was like she was doing an arm bar. She moved, and the girl's like, hey, you didn't give me a chance to tap. You're gonna rip my leg apart. You're supposed to.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%, but I'm going with Lipsky on this one. I think she's going to submit Cocheria.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, let's see what we got here. And next up, we have Augusto Sakai versus Sergey Spivak. And Sakai coming off a loss, and his loss, he got beat up on that one, man. He got beat up pretty bad, and he didn't really, like, he got schooled on that fight. So he didn't really. He's a tough guy, but he got mauled, I thought, and dominated. And then you got Spivak, and every time he gets in there, dude, you're thinking, well, who's this guy? He doesn't look like much until he starts moving forward. And then it's like a locomotive, man, with no freaking brakes.
Yeah.
But I've got my personal pick on this one is Spivak. Because I love his fighting style. It's super exciting. He's not the fastest guy, but he is going to take Sakai's position on the rankings. I'm pretty sure. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with that because I mean, Sakai's he fought Rosenstruck, he fought Overeem, he fought Taichu Ivasa. Those are a lot of like, and to lose by getting KO'd, that's a lot on your head. That's a lot on your body. It's a lot on your mind. You know what I mean? And I think he wants to win. What is he ranked? 14. Spivak needs to get into the top 15. He's not ranked yet, and I think this is a good fight for him. And like you said, I was watching him like, this guy's got great stand-up. He's a big guy. He's not like, a lot of the heavyweights aren't the most toned guys. He's got kind of a Fedor body, but the guy just goes forward and he hits accurately.
Yeah, and that's a
for a guy
great
that
point
big.
right there. He's accurate. And I think one thing that I failed to mention is he's got pretty good ring presence as far as he doesn't go in there with his head on the center line, just getting, taking one to give 2 or 3. He's pretty smart in the way that he moves. He takes some shots, but he's not this guy that says, okay, I'm just going to power through your punches and then punch you. He seems to be have a little bit more ring IQ that's higher than, like you said, he looks like, like a Fedor, but it doesn't matter what you look like. It matters how you fight and if you get your hand raised at the end. And I think he's smarter than people would give him. I don't want to say credit for, but just than he looks, like you said.
Yeah, I'm gonna go also with Spivak.
Oh, so we're in agreements. Okay. I'm glad you're wising up there.
Okay.
All right. So now we've got the 2 ladies from Tough that are fighting on this card for
their contract.
What is it called? What is it called? I can't remember what they call it for Tough. It's just the
The
championship.
Ultimate Fighter contract. The winner gets a
Ultimate
contract.
Fighter contract. Thank you very much. So you've got Brogan Walker and Juliana Miller. And I did watch the Ultimate Fighter. Skip through all the drama stuff. I'm more interested in the fighting. And both of these guys are really quite good. They're both tough. And I've got to pick because I've seen, and both of them, they just kind of went through all the competition and had a good showing. I'm going to pick Juliana Miller on this one because I think she's got a little bit more dog in her. And she doesn't, I've never seen her quit or even ease up. Even when she's hurt, I haven't seen her ease up. So I'm going to go with Juliana Miller because I think she's just got a little more dog. And you know, she comes, you know, I don't want to go into all the background. Everybody has a background. Everybody has a story. But what I'm saying is when she's in there, she's laser focused and she's pretty crisp too. She's a pretty crisp fighter. Your thoughts?
Okay. The Brogan Walker, first of all, is way more. She has more of a seasoned. She's been in more fights. She's from Guamania. She's not born from Guamania, but she lives there. She's a black belt, and you know she's 8-2. I mean, they're both pretty young. Juliana Miller's from San Diego. She's from 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. She's a brown belt, but she's a brown belt under Boogie Martinez and the 10th Planet. And, you know, there's different schools. And I would say that a brown belt is better than a black belt if you're from 10th Planet. I mean, when Eddie Bravo won against Royler Gracie, he was a brown belt. He wasn't even a black belt. And he fought the Gracies. And I mean, that what catapulted him. So, I mean, I like Juliana Miller. Her jiu-jitsu is filthy. It's like, I mean, and it's different because Brogan Walker's jiu-jitsu is like a traditional jiu-jitsu, like a Brazilian. And 10th Planet, there's a lot of high guard. There's a lot of like leg locks. It's just different. I like Juliana Miller. I want to root for her, but I think Brogan Walker has a better stand-up, and I think she's gonna give it to her. She has better leg kicks, and she's got kind of a Tisha Torres, Angela Hill kind of style where she throws punches to throw kicks to throw punches. And I think if she doesn't get grabbed by Juliana Miller, and Juliana Miller can do some of those, like, you know, she can just get close enough and jump guard and get her, you know, or go to the legs or whatever. But I'm gonna go Brogan Walker.
Okay. Yeah, so you think Brogan Walker is going to keep her at distance and pick her apart?
Mm-hmm.
That's your thought. You're going to go
Yeah.
with
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I want Juliana Miller to win. I'm telling you, I don't think she will.
You know, Nando, I'm trying to give you every opportunity to change your mind, but obviously you're not going to. So we're going to move to the next one. Now, this is the men's tough finale, and we've got Muhammad Usman, who is the older brother of our.
Oh, he's the older brother?
Yeah,
Okay.
He's the older brother. Yep, and of Kamaru, and so he's got, you know, big shoes to fill. He said, you know, I watched his interview. He said he's not looking to fill his brother's shoes. He's doing his own thing, but with his brother's tutelage, and you know, and. He doesn't stick on the big brother or little brother thing. You know, his brother's a champ. He wants to become a champ. He looks very focused, very serious about what he's doing. He said, "No, I'm not riding in on my brother's coattails. You know, I put in the work. I'm doing my thing, and here's where I'm at, which is where I knew I'd be." Wow, great interview for him. And then you got Zach Paga, and he looked good on the Ultimate Fighter too. He was very calculated. He seems to be a very smart fighter. I think I see Usman more as a bullish fighter, coming forward and using that muscle mass. And I see Zach more as I don't want to say finesse, but better foot movement, footwork, and moving his body. And he's pretty good about moving his head as well. and getting out of danger. But they both got power punches, both powerful. And I didn't really see Usman gas. I thought because he's so big and so full of muscle that he was going to gas, but I didn't really see any of that at all. And I've got a pick. I'm going to go with Zach on this one. I think Zach's got a few more tools than Usman. But if Usman catches him, he could put his lights out. Either one of them could put each other's lights out. But I'm going to go with Zach on this one. What you got?
Yeah, I agree with you. I like Usman, but I think, this is like he's older. He's like 35. This is, if he's going to make it, he's got to make it now.
Mm-hmm.
He's not slow. I think it's more, I'm trying to think of the word. He shows his shots too much. He telegraphs it. That's the word. It telegraphs. From the way he stands that he's about to. He goes into this stance, and I think Zach, is a better fighter, but he can get bullied. I mean, look at someone like Brock Lesnar. He just bullied people. They could see it. I mean, they could see this big tomato can coming from a mile away, but it still hits you. You know what I mean? If you have a fist that's like 2 fists, it's gonna hit you no matter what.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going with Zach. I think Zach's gonna have a better game plan. Yeah, I think that Usman's gonna work with him. I think he helped Francis. He turned Francis into a wrestler. And I mean, Francis wasn't the greatest wrestler, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. I think that the wrestling of Zach is better than the wrestling of Cyril Gane. I don't think Cyril Gane expected that. So I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Zach. I think we're agreeing too much on these.
Well, like I said,
coming over to the dark side.
So this is for you. Okay, this is a lemon head.
Yeah.
For you, not the dark side, the light side, man. So no, but I think it's going to be a great fight. I don't think it's going to go to a decision.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think somebody's getting TKO'd or knocked out. All right, let's move on to the next one. Now, this one I'm super stoked about. We've got Vicente Luque versus Jeff Neal. And Luque is coming off a loss. Neal is coming off a win. It seems like it's been a while since Neal's fought, though.
Yeah.
Luque, too. I'm trying to remember when their last fight was. Do you know anything about that?
No, I don't know what his last fight was. I don't think I still have it. I don't remember. I mean, he's got great wins. He won against Chiesa. He won against Tyrone Woodley. He beat Nico Price. I mean, he's got great wins. And hold on. So
I'm a little surprised by this matchup, to be honest with you. Seeing as Vicente Luque is at number 6 ranked and Jeff Neal's 13. The only thing that makes sense to me and why they booked this particular fight is because of Vicente's loss.
Yeah, he lost against Bel Muhammad in April.
Oh, well.
And Bel Muhammad is entitled.
Who doesn't lose against him?
Yeah. But they're 1-for-1. So they'll eventually fight again. He beat Bel Muhammad pretty fast in the first fight. Bel Muhammad beat him in a decision. So I think that I think they're trying to give him a fight. I don't think anybody likes that. I don't think Geoff likes that, but I think trying to give him a fight, make him relative again. People not know about him and give Geoff Neal a chance to redeem himself. He's 3 of 5. His 1 win. His losses against Magny, Thompson. He's an aggressive fighter, and I think that's good, but I think that's his downfall also.
So you think they're feeding him to Vicente, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Vicente is looking like crazy right now. He's beating everybody. He's beating everybody with his choke.
Yeah.
Which I was trying to look up that choke. I don't know if
he beat who was the human backpack?
Oh, you're talking about Damian Maia?
Damian Maia. Didn't he beat Damian Maia?
Yeah.
That was a good fight. Yeah, but Damian Maia is like 100. I mean, he's pretty
He's
old.
100, and Damian Maia is a great jiu-jitsu, but great jiu-jitsu against wrestlers. Wrestlers usually win, which I hope that's not what happens in the Islam fight. But, you know, that's usually what happens if you look statistically. The wrestler nullifies.
I agree with you there. So, what does Jeff Neal have to do to beat Luque?
He's got to, I would say get him against the cage, but I don't think that's a good idea either. I think he's just got to take his shots, make Vicente Luque go on his back foot. He's got to take the chance. He's got to be an aggressor, because I don't think if he lets Vicente Luque lead, it's not going to be good for him. He's got to get him in the back foot. He's got to move him into shots. So he's got to like set up legs, set up shots to hit him with the left or the right. Move them into your big shots and try to clinch. Don't grapple. Clinch with him. Let go and kind of dirty box. I think that's going to be his only chance.
And I would agree with that 100%. I think if Luque gets him against the fence, because he does have some nasty elbows too, Luque will piece him up. But I think also just straight, if they stayed on the feet the whole time, I think Luque is going to employ some of his kicks to, you know, if Jeff Neal is trying to walk him down. I know it's hard to kick on the back foot, but if you kick that calf enough times, which Luque is pretty good at those kicks as well, that he could slow Neal down and then just start to piece him up. I think his Luque's striking is better, crisper. He can get that jab through there. And I don't know who's more powerful, to be honest with you, because I think both guys can throw some power shots for sure.
Yes.
So I don't know like who's stronger. I think I agree with you on this one that Neal has to do some dirty boxing. However, you got to be careful of those clinches, because Vicente Luque, I've seen him up holding dudes up against a cage, and he's pretty sneaky with uppercuts and whatnot. And he's not the type of guy that will hold you and just clinch you and tie you up and lean against the fence. He's working the whole time, and that's kind of scary, where you have nowhere to go. You can't retreat because a fence is holding you there. And if he's got you, and if he starts scoring, he's not going to stop. You know, Neal, I think if he's going to do the dirty boxing, he's got to do it in the middle of the octagon. But that's hard to do if your opponent is moving well. So I think, and I don't know Neal's wrestling pedigree. I'm not sure about that, so I can't speak to it. If he is a really good wrestler, I think he's got I don't know, man. Vicente is also dangerous on the ground. He's just dangerous everywhere, man. I can't see a win for Neal.
I don't either.
I can't see it, man. So I'm going to go with Luque. You helped convince me on this one, because I was like, I was like grasping for something for Neil. I really like Neil. I think he's a exciting fighter, and but I think that's a bad matchup for him, man.
Yeah. So now to the main event.
Main event, we have Thiago Santos versus Jamal Hill, which is well, so I see the logic. I see, when they go to the war room and they do their, they match up their fighters and stuff. I can see as I'm looking at the stats here, why they would do this matchup. Because at first I thought they're kind of pushing Jamal Hill maybe a little fast on putting him on the fast track because he's had some success. But at the same time, Thiago Santos hasn't looked the same. And he's, like you mentioned earlier with Derek Lewis, he's kind of getting into this gatekeeper status. He's been fighting for the UFC. He's been fighting overall for a long time now. And I think that's the position they put Santos in for this up-and-comer Jamal Hill, this hot new prospect. And if he gets through Thiago Santos, then they're really going to push Hill, put him on the fast track. But Santos is at number 6 on the rankings, so it'll push him into what, the top 5 maybe.
Yeah. I think Thiago Santos, he lost to Ankalov, Radek, Glover, John Jones. After the John Jones, people just don't look the same. Like, you look at all the people that he's fought, even though people say they might have won, like a Dominic Reyes or like Alexander Gustafsson, but they never look the same after it. They can never get back. Glover got the title back, but that's like 1 out of 7 or 8. You got him and DC, but DC was second place. He just had the title, and then when John Jones came back, he was like, "I'll take my title back. Thanks for holding it." You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's what John Jones does. He snatches souls, man. And and none of these guys are the same.
Yeah.
When they get beat by John Jones.
I think Jamal Hill, he lost to Paul Craig, but Paul Craig is a really good guy. He just lost, but he, on a lot of people's records, he's that loss. They lose to him. He has a no contest, I think, against, I forgot who it was, but yeah, they want him. I think he's a contender guy, right? From the Contender series. They want him to do well. And he'll be in top 6 if he wins this, which I think I don't know. I don't know if this is too soon for him. I don't see anything changing for Thiago Santos. He hasn't really changed anything. I think he really...
I agree, because he fights a lot longer. His stance is longer. His jab is longer. He's got a 3-inch reach advantage, 1 inch on the feet. Santos, though, he's looking a little bit slower. Jamal faster, and everybody still kind of remembers the big finishes Santos had, but he's what you said about John Jones, he just never looked the same after that. But most of them don't, that lose to John Jones. He does something to you in the ring. And I see Jamal Hill coming out with a win on this one. I think it's going to be a knockout or TKO. I see him taking him into deep waters and then piecing him up, because I can see Santos start to slow down, and I don't want to say gas out because he's in pretty good shape, but I think Hill's just faster, and he's going to start sticking those jabs, and they're going to start taking effect. And the one thing that Santos does have that I want to give to him, he's got punching power. He'll always have that. But I think if he can throw those leg kicks, and at least try to damage Hill's legs or leg, then he has a chance if he can put some damage on that calf and hurt him so that he can't throw those power punches.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Jamal Hill is gonna win this, but ever since Santos messed up his knees in that John Jones fight, his mobility isn't what it was. He's just a lot faster. Now he's not. I think he really messed up his knees bad in that fight. And I just don't know. I'd like him to win. I'd like to disagree with you, but can't disagree with you on these ones. It's too.
Well, and if his knees are still jacked, then he's not going to be throwing leg kicks, right? He's that's going to be harder for him to throw leg kicks. He's not the leg kick monster, but he does have powerful kicks when he throws them. But if his legs or if his knees are even stiff, not I don't want to say injured, but stiff, not as flexible, he's not going to be throwing effective leg kicks. Especially Jamal Hill moves pretty well. He's got pretty good footwork, and I think it's going to be hard to catch those. But if Santos wins, it's going to be a flash knockout.
It's going to be quick.
He's going to tuck his head. He's going to throw a hook, and it's going to catch him right behind the ear. And Hill's going to go, as we say in Spanish, mimis. So, but I do predict Hill. And Santos at the press conference, he knows what's up. He knows that they want me to take an L to this guy, so they can build him up. And your pride, I mean, if you're a fighter in the UFC or any organization, you don't want to be known as a freaking gatekeeper, man. What I mean? Nobody's pride can take that. They're not, hey, I'll be a gatekeeper and just keep bringing up these young, fresh bucks, with tons of energy, and I'll fight them. Nobody wants that. And I think Santos had a little bit of an attitude about that at the press conference, but I don't think it matters. I think Jamal, they set this up to elevate Jamal Hill.
Yeah, I don't think Jamal Hill's going to be scared. I'll watch the weigh-ins later today, but I don't think if Jamal Hill is anywhere intimidated, then maybe Santos might win. But he doesn't seem like the type of guy that gets intimidated. He knows that this is his chance, and it's not like a pay-per-view where I would say the pressure would get to him. He's the main event, but this isn't like a huge. He's got to win this, and then I say he's on to the main card. He's probably second fight on a main card. His next fight, if he wins.
Well, especially if it's a finish, if it's a spectacular. I mean, there's no end to what he could do and where he can go.
Yes, I'll have a knuckle sandwich. Yes, I'll have a knuckle sandwich.